What's up, everybody? Aliens and Beyond is back.
That's right, baby.
I'm Heidi Gadd.
And I'm James Spader. No. Guest host? No. I just gained some weight since the last episode and put a hat on. And here I am. No, my name is Mace. Beyers. Thank you. Thank you much. What are we talking about?
We're going to talk about the moon today.
Whoa! The moon.
The moon. Selene is named by the Greeks. Luna is named by the Romans.
Luna. Typical kitty name. So let's talk about some theories. We're going to talk about many things about the moon.
Yeah.
Theories and
Of its creation.
yeah, all kinds of cool things.
How was it created? Is it a ship?
Well,
Is it a rock? Is it a...
she's jumping.
What could it be?
She's jumping the gun, as they say.
All right, let's start with the first one the scientists think.
That's for your green screen later. Theories, moon creation. 1, the capture theory. And that is over 4 billion years ago, our planet Earth, the moon was zipping through our solar system, and we grabbed a hold of it, captured it, and put it in this perfect orbit that makes life here perfect. I don't believe it, but that's one theory.
It is.
Yeah.
Captured with gravity.
There it is.
Drawn in. Another theory is fission.
The
Fission.
Fission. Your turn. You talk about fission.
So that would be where a piece of the planet, when it was forming in its early days, for some billion years ago, that a piece of it just popped off.
Broke off.
Yeah, maybe it was like a pimple, like a zit, just popped.
And
Bam.
spit out a perfect sphere
Yeah.
to just, control our emotions and our tides.
Because that makes so much sense. But I'm not a scientist. I'm just a girl.
You're just a girl with a weird hairstyle this evening. And the next theory would be the co-formation theory. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's basically, some humans seems to think that the moon was formed at the same time as our planet Earth was formed.
Yeah.
Now, in their defense, I believe a lot of the makeup of the moon is very similar to the Earth.
Yes. Which is very interesting
So that's pretty
and perplexing.
boring, but pretty interesting. So let's move on to the colliding. You say it.
Okay, James Spader. Planetesimals. Like decimals.
5-syllable word, humans.
Planetesimals.
So it's another planet hit our moon.
Well, and it's a planet more specifically that is formed by grabbing pieces of things.
Throughout, when it's zipping through the solar system or whatever, just grabbing
Yep.
and it collides, hits our planet over 4 billion years ago, and they're the perfect sphere that's in the perfect
Right.
orbit.
It's a perfect size.
Bull hockey.
Doesn't sound right.
Bull hockey. Here's the bull. There's someone playing hockey. Put it together. Bull hockey. How about the giant impact theory? We're going to just skate right over that because it's very similar.
Yeah. That's the thing, is most of the theories seem to be the same, mostly.
Kind of have a thread through it.
But
Yeah.
not.
Now, your favorite theory.
Is the artificial object theory. Because it's a conspiracy theory. And conspiracy theories die hard.
So if the moon is artificially created, who created it?
That's the question. Aliens? Future us's? That wouldn't make sense, actually. Future us's could not have created it.
Well,
Unless they did.
It's the chicken and the egg thing.
Dimensions, man.
Who knows? With dimensions and time and space and James Spader.
And we only see one side of the moon all the time.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That's so weird. 27 days it takes for the moon to go around.
And you know...
Did you know that? Rotates once every 27 days.
You know, and...
What does it mean?
It means it just gives us another reason to go, what? Why?
It's a giant spaceship. I'm going with giant spaceship.
It's hollow. You know, there's all kinds of things going on. You know, maybe there's, like alien raves, and maybe there's some DJs inside the moon just rocking right now.
Yeah.
You know, maybe musicians. There's not
I'd
many.
hope so.
Not many left anymore. It's
true.
all on a computer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not bitter.
So hats off to any of you who play actual instruments.
Yeah, I'm not taking my hat off for you because I need a haircut, but hats off.
I didn't even do that on purpose, James Spader.
Where'd everybody go? Is there like a lunch or something I don't know about?
Seriously, you guys, look at his eyes right now. He looks like James Spader.
Okay.
It's killing me. I'm sorry. Trying to focus here.
Okay, let's talk about the Chinese rover and the lander that most people don't talk about, don't know about.
Yeah, even friends of mine I've been talking to, some of you, you know who you are. I mentioned China's been sending up rovers. And my friends were like, what? They've sent up 4 of them. The 5th one is on the way.
I didn't really know till we started to investigate this whole moon situation.
Mm-hmm.
So the China, I know that their little rover was named Jade Rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
It comes from their
mythology.
Yeah. And you can go ahead and what's the name of their?
It's the Chang, but it looks like Chang-E, which some people have said. But if you learn how to pronounce their words right, it's Chang.
Which you're all about enunciation, pronouncing it. I'm from New Jersey.
I try.
I just slur right through it.
They're gonna go explore the dark side of the moon.
The far side.
The far side. Oh yeah, I knew that. We talked about this earlier.
We call it the dark side. We call it the far side. But technically, it's not dark.
No, it's the far side.
I'm going to be honest with you. For most of my life on this planet, I thought the dark side of the moon was freaking dark.
But it's not.
It's not.
But now, is it not dark because of a second sun?
Oh, we're not going to get into the whole sun thing.
We'll save that for another time.
Yeah. But, yeah. And, that's where a lot of us believe or, think that there is bases on the far side of the moon. And
conspiracy theories.
Yeah. That's where a lot of these
but it's not a conspiracy theory if it's true.
Look, there's so much footage.
And we know that NASA blocks that stuff out. They airbrush it out.
And it's always black and white. It's always gray. It's much easier for them to manipulate the footage.
Mm-hmm.
The interesting thing about the Chang 3, it's in color. Look.
What?
It's in color. And there's footage that to me looks more like brown, like soil, not like this gray dust. So that's an interesting thing for you to check out on YouTube, people. Look at the difference in the color. And
why don't they want to just let us see it in color? Like, what is so wrong about that? I just don't understand.
Because they don't want us to realize what's going on. They think humans can't handle all this stuff, and it's all for their own, government's secret military crap, man. They need the fudge off. Shut the front door. But I really wish I could be part of the Space Force.
I wonder what their outfits are going to look like.
You know, James Spader always played, he was always in a lot of movies.
Yeah, with space.
Yeah, so I could maybe possibly play in the future one of the actors that if we do a movie or something about the actual Space Force that we put together, maybe I can play James Spader playing an astronaut in the Space Force. That's doable. We're going to put a picture of James right next to me.
And James Spader, if you happen to be watching, I would love to talk to you about aliens.
Yeah.
So would Mace.
Yeah. You'll guest host eventually. Well, you and then Joe Rogan. We'll have you both do the show together. Hey, Joe, how are you?
And if you're not sure what we're talking about, check out our other episodes on the tubes.
Yeah, so the Chinese send, these lunar crafts. They drop the rovers. They're taking the new footage. They put it out for all to see.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do 9 years ago or so? We drop a bomb on the moon.
Yep.
Yeah, so we drop a bomb on the moon.
It's coming right for us.
That's right. Listen, so you get the particulars that kind of bounce back into the atmosphere, and the Lacrosse lunar crater observation sensor satellite takes all that in. And you know what it said? It said that we have there's lots more water. There's H2O up on that moon. Listen, there's water on the moon. What does that mean for us? That means if they were to show us and literally show us that we're putting a space station on the moon, or
which
a base,
probably already happened.
There's water there for air, to create fuel, to drink. There's water on the moon.
Make little city domes.
Yeah, you could even have a cold beverage on the moon. What do you think of
Ice
that?
cubes.
Yeah, when you're in the base, you crank up the heat, get some sun lamps, and have a cold beverage on the moon from ice cubes that were from a crater.
On the moon.
On the moon. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
America.
Yeah. You know what's strange? This whole Santa Claus code word that our astronauts used with the Apollo missions.
Yeah.
Some of the earlier missions. And you know, quote, "There is a Santa Claus," I repeat. There is a Santa Claus. And that was their code word for,
aliens.
bogies, UAPs,
aliens,
UFOs.
It's no state secret.
Look, there's tons of NASA footage of orbs and spaceships and UFOs zipping around. It's obvious.
Obvious.
But the moon is interesting, how it changes your mood, and it affects our tide. I can always tell when there's going to be a full moon, because life, for some reason, just becomes futile for me. I'll just put this shirt on. Why bother?
It's true. It's weird how it does that, though.
And then it does affect some people. It makes them just crazy.
Yeah. Emergency rooms fill up, all that. That's so interesting to me.
My mom, may she rest in peace, Beverly, she was a hostess of my local drunk diner, for many years. And she would tell me that when it was a full moon, it was just out of control.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I've worked enough venues to see, and it really is true.
Yeah. That's why it's important to stay home on full moons. Maybe that's where the werewolf thing came from, because people were getting all kooky, so they started telling all their youngins.
Just some hairy dude on a full moon night that just kind of lost a little control,
Yeah, stripped off all his clothes.
Just happened to be one of those hairy guys, the back fur and just the whole thing. And
it was before they knew about waxing.
Maybe he had some extraordinary canines. Some canines just kicking, so, the whole thing. That's another story. We'll do another episode where, what we did Beowulf, but that's kind of different. Okay. So we're talking about...
Mace drank a lot of coffee.
Or not enough. You just never know. You know what's interesting else about the moon is it blocks out the sun perfect in diameter, which for a lot of scientists, baffles them. And that's why some scientists think it's an artificial, object. It was created.
Yeah,
it's just too perfect. The orbit, everything about it.
It's like some Fibonacci sequence kind of stuff. That's like the golden spiral.
Huh? Huh?
Never mind.
I don't know what she just said. That's Slick's cousin, Herbert. I don't want to use the word Herbert. I got a good friend named Herb, Oklahoma.
Sorry.
Shout out to Herb, man. It was my boy in the 80s with, my...
the 80s.
Yeah, he was my security roadie, whatever you want to call it, back in the day from Oklahoma. Herb. When I had really long hair and I wasn't quite so James Spader-like. And thank you for watching this episode where we discussed the moon and all the
big
theories.
cheese.
And some people say the moon's made of Swiss cheese. Your thoughts? No.
Aliens live there.
Yeah, and maybe they like cheese.
And I think we're going to see some pretty cool stuff once the Chang gets there in December of 2018.
Listen, everybody check out that little... I wonder if they're going to call it... They'll probably have a new name, or will they use the same name for the rover? Jade Rabbit.
I know
Rabbit
that they... Well, I know that they put a lottery out for the name, and it was like September was when it closed. So I don't know if they're still reviewing it.
They're not going to use Jade Rabbit again.
No, it'll have a new name. As far as I know, as of today, there has not been a name chosen.
I want to call it the Slick 2. It's a Slick 2. Listen, it's a Slick 2 rover. Yeah.
Could call it Spade.
Call it Spade.
Like that full circle.
Yeah, full circle.
Mace is almost wearing a spade on his hat, but it's not a spade.
It's a club. It's a shout out to Club Tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah. They do great tattoo work and piercing and have lots of great merchandise. And we're going to have the owner, one of the founding members of Club Tattoo, Sean Dedell. We'll be talking about giants with him in the
near future.
Near future. Yeah, which is awesome.
Should be interesting. Be sure to check out our playlist because we've got some other interviews both Mace and I have done. We've got
definition missions, submission missions, where people submit footage, and we'll be doing another definition mission soon as well. This one's going to be good.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting.
It's a little out of control, almost.
A little bit. A little over the top.
It is.
But got to keep it interesting.
Yeah!
Yeah. So when I was on Mysterious Forces Live with my friend Natasha, Mace was making fun of me because I kept going, yeah. So if you guys haven't seen it, you guys can watch him make fun of me. And I was in my haunted shop.
Where did everybody go? Is there like a lunch or something I don't know about?
Either way, you guys, hit the subscribe button, please. We super appreciate it.
The bell.
And the bell. And if you're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, find us on
all that good stuff. Oh, there's nothing
SoundCloud.
Left. That's it.
Aliens and Beyond.
We're on everything.
Yeah.
Same name.
Not hard.
So hopefully we'll do another episode sometime this year. Now we'll get it out soon.
No, we will. Summer's over.
Thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching.
And stare at the moon. Bark at the moon. Howl at the moon.
Listen to songs about the moon.
Put some headphones on. Listen to Pink Floyd. Do it.
Get a telescope. Look for aliens.
Ah. Do that.
Do it.